Man, I can't believe the Blues actually pulled this one out of the fire. That was absolutely brutal. The game of rugby, it's one of the most unforgiving, most brutal sports in the world. I mean, it physically, mentally, spiritually, completely grinds every player down onto the field until they're absolutely nothing, right? And then amongst the ashes, the wastelands of men, there is a few that still had the courage, the determination, the certified All Blacks that pulls themselves through and steals this match from the Reds. And that is, that is the beauty of rugby, guys. I cannot believe how good these Blues players were. Hoskins, Sotutu, and the big man himself, the son of Ironi Clark, Caleb Clark, the secret weapon off the bench on that 23 jersey, just unstoppable, destroying the Reds' backline like it was just nothing to win the game on the, 82 minutes on the clock? Oh man, that was so brutal. Just so brutal. And congratulations for the Blues fan. And it's just rugby, guys. It's just rugby. And I guess the good news for the Reds is the new debutant, Tim Ryan, the junkyard dog, came in and hounded himself a hat-trick. He was so talented, man. He made Mark Talea look slow and sluggish. And 3 tries against the Blues on his debut is quite an amazing feat for anybody. Another guy I thought did really, really well is for the Reds is Suliasi Vunivalu. Every week I watch him, he's just improving. He's working on those. He knows the areas that he's lacking. You know, the areas that's tighter around the rocks, and he works himself around it. He gets himself involved around the rocks, and he gets better. And the kicking game as well, he gets better and better and better every week. And this week, he got a try, pick and go try, and he had another try disallowed by the extremely poor refereeing TMO. I mean, Super Rugby needs to do something about this because they've been trying to speed up the game, and the proper TMO review process after the try has been scored has not been done. They just kind of like quickly show a couple of replays, and then the TMO will make a decision whilst, you know, the players trying to line up for a kick. And it's just not the experience that fans wanted to see. And the TMO, quite frankly, do not know the laws, right? He's probably from rugby league, I'm guessing, because in the current law of rugby union, it's not a knock-on unless there is a clear separation on the hand and between the player, not just the hand, between the player and the ball, for it to be considered a knock-on, and for it to be considered enough evidence to overrule the decision on the field of a try. That's the most important part. The on-field decision with a try, you need clear evidence that there has been separation between the ball and the hand. As you can see right here, there is no evidence that the ball has left the hand. No clear evidence, and when the ball touched the ground, and this is 100% a try under the current laws of rugby. But the extremely shitty TMO said that this was not a try because he probably been watching rugby league. And how do they even get these people? How do these people have a job? How do they get paid to not even know the basic law that you're supposed to do as a TMO? This is literally the one thing you need to know as a TMO. You don't really need to know like anything else. You don't need to know like, you know, all the other intricacies of the game. But when it comes to scoring a try, this is the one thing you need to know as a TMO. And somehow they have people paid to do their jobs, not know the basic laws of rugby. It's just actually disgraceful. Anyway. I mean, I was so angry when I saw this. It was just disgraceful. And Vunivalu's try I saw was just absolute beauty. Crossfield kick. He caught the ball. He ripped the ball out of the Blues defender. And then like juked and stiff-armed another player and tried. And then put the ball down for a try. Like, it was just beautiful, beautiful individual talent on display there from Vunivalu. And they just completely like written it off because the TMO doesn't know how to do his fucking job. It was disgraceful. And then the Blues 4-pack was just brutal as usual. And I was really pleased for the Reds as well. They went toe-to-toe with the physicality of the Blues forwards. The Blues forwards was famous, you know, for being able to punch through entire spaces, getting them in the front foot, quick balls, pick and go for tries. The Reds did exactly the same thing against the Blues, made the Blues defense go backwards with the quick pick and goes and physicality, crashing the balls. And yeah, that was very impressive for the Reds to stay in the fight against the toughest team, the biggest dogs in the yard, and was able to stay in there, hang in there. But eventually, the physicality, the brutality was just way too much. Hoskins or Tutu was just running through people at the end of the game, keeping the Blues attacked, and the fatigue, from the Reds team. Just the absolute wasteland. And Caleb Clark, I think the Blues coaches had a special plan for him when they had him, named him on the bench, came onto the field, fresh as daisies, and just ran through tired legs all around him like a field day. Had a field day, and finally breaking through the defense at the end there to go in for the try. Set up his making the break down the sideline, and then inside ball, setting up his teammate. What was his name? Knock, the number 21 for the try. Yeah, that was brutal game to watch. And the Blues, as they always do, the set piece was extremely dominant. The Reds scrum was actually struggling quite a bit against the Blues. The Reds had a decent scrum actually, but the Blues scrum is just the next level. Angus Tarbell and what's his name? Ofa Tuangafasi was just absolute menace on the fields and really made the Reds work. And wasn't quite enough for the Reds to hold that out. So let's have a look at the match stats of this game. 5 tries to 6, refresh this. 5 tries to 6, 468 run meters for the Reds, 579 for the Blues. 8 turnovers conceded for the Reds, 17 turnovers conceded for the Blues, and that is just the physicality the Reds brought to the face of the Blues. And the Blues always had this bit of issue, like handling issues. They have that brutality, but they're always not that tidy with the handling. So the Reds kind of was able to, capitalize on that a little bit. 193 tackles made for the Reds, only 21 missed tackles. That is ridiculously good considering how physical this Blues team is. And 152 tackles made for the Blues, only 20 missed tackles for the Blues themselves. Kicks in play, 19 for the Reds, 12 for the Blues. Not a big kicking game in this one. 2 conversions missed for Liner, 2 conversions and 1 penalty missed for the Blues kicker. Who was it? I can't even remember. And the lineouts, 10 for the Reds, 3 lineouts lost, 8 for the Blues, 2 lineout loss for the Blues. So either teams were a little bit struggling, but this is probably the area that the Blues had the most significant advantage. That is in the scrummaging, especially in that first half. 2 scrum loss against the Reds out of 3, out of a total of 5, I guess 3-1. Blues 4 out of 4 in their own scrummaging. Penalty count was pretty even overall. 9 against the Reds, 8 against the Blues. There was 1 yellow card for against Bryce Him for putting a late clean out on a player that wasn't in the ruck, and also hit the player on the head. So that was a yellow card. I thought it was low degree of danger. I thought yellow card was fair enough for that. So this was let's go through the scoring for this game. Like I said, this was an extremely physically brutal game. The Blues had a bit of a sloppy start, and the Reds was actually, inside the Blues 22, bringing that physicality to the Blues. And the halfback, Thomas, nice little high ball crossfield kick to Vunivalu. He jumped up in the air, ripped the ball out of hand from the Blues player. Bit of a juking for one. It was 2-on-1 actually, Vunivalu. This is how good this was. Stiff arm the other player, ground the ball, and the TMO says no try. And in fact, it was like a try. And Liner was getting to take the kick, and TMO quickly calls in, it's like, no try. After seeing like the replay twice in the live stadium or something, it was just awful. And then, if you actually watch it properly, it was actually a try. I already showed you. So anyway, I don't want to keep on going about this, but it was just terrible. There's been a few of these terrible TMO decisions from Super Rugby this season. It's just awful. Anyway, 12 minutes into the game, the Blues get themselves on the try first. They had a maul that was sacked, and the referee penalized the Reds for not rolling away after the sacking. They say sack means like he tackled the player before the maul was formed. So that was not rolling away. The Blues backed themselves for the try. They went for the line out, crash ball, just brutality. Patrick Tuipulotu goes in for the try. He ran over Liner and Paisami. He was literally like watching an adult running over two schoolboys, two small guys got ran over. 5 points to 0 for the Blues. 17 minutes into the game, there was a scrum penalty for the Blues. They missed. But the ball hit the goalpost, ricochet backwards, and the Blues, Funaki, recovered this one. And then Blues just quick balls, crash ball, and then the ball gets recycled, spun out wide over the top, and Forbes went into the corner for the try. 10 points to 0, 17 minutes into the game. 24 minutes into the game, the Reds finally get their own try on the board. They were building pressure. There was a penalty advantage inside the Blues. Inside the Blues, what's his name? Inside the Blues 22. There was lots of crash balls, and Tumanga Allen gets the ball, dummy and go himself. The big man. I wouldn't even say it was a dummy. He kind of just like picked it up and did this, and then just went for the white line. 7 points to 10. The Reds coming back a bit. 32 minutes in the game, Bryce Heem gets sent off for a yellow card, taking a player out who was not involved in the ruck, and then also shoulder to the head. 35 minutes into the game, there was a penalty for the Blues from the scrum. They kicked the 3. The ball hit the crossbar, bounced thing anyway. And and then that's the halftime score, 17 points to 13. The Reds was trying to close out the game in the first half, but it was struggling. The handling was a bit of an issue from Thomas at the halfback position. Second half, 48 minutes into the game, the Reds just building. Just recycling the ball, just basic stuff. 18 phases the Reds built towards this. And finally, Vinivalu got himself in tight, pick and go, try time for him. 12 points to 13 for the Reds. 50 minutes into the game, the Reds got themselves back into the front foot. Hunter Paisami had the ball, short space behind, little chip behind. He went and recovered his own kick over the top to Tim Ryan. Ran down the sideline, try time. 19 points to 13 for the Reds. The Blues coming back against the Reds. Lots of rumbling. Again, just typical Blue style pick and go, keeping it tight. And finally, Hoskins Sotutu crashed over. He was held up, looking really dangerous. But a few minutes later, the Blues were getting themselves back on the front foot. They were into the 22 for the Reds, applying all the pressure, lots of repeated penalties. They went for the scrum. Talea, the scrum came out, the ball went to the sideline. Talea almost got in from the into the corner. And then the ball came back out, crash ball. Hoskins Sotutu, pick and go. Got really, really close, and eventually Angus Tava crashed in for the try for the Blues. 19 points to 20. 61 minutes into the game, there was a line out from the Reds. The ball came out. Oh, just like nice hands, draw and pass. A little loop behind, over the top. And the new guy, Tim Ryan, ran down the sideline. The junkyard dog, 24 points to 20. The Reds get themselves back in front. The conversion hit the goalpost, and then immediately after this try was scored, there was the Reds was getting a scrum center field in around midway. Ball just came out, went to the short side. He had what's his name? Tim Ryan had like pretty much no space, and one of the Blues player, I think it was Funaki, that fell over. He jumped over him. No, that wasn't fucking number 6 on the Blues. Fell over. He jumped over him, and then there was Funaki and what's his name? And Mark Talea right there, and he just juked them both. Ran straight down the sideline, and then there was another player swooping across. He stepped in as well. Try time, and the whole stadium was going absolutely bananas. 31 points to 20. The new kid gets to the hat trick. Even Joe Schmidt was smiling in the coaching box. 68 minutes into the game, Talea and Adrian Lamb was just making a little play down the sideline. So Talea, passed the ball to Adrian Lamb, who ran down the sideline. Inside ball to Hoskins Sotutu, ran in. Just easy as that. Another try for the Blues. 68 minutes, 31 points to 27. 73 minutes, there was like the Blues were struggling to handle their own ball inside their own 22. There was a bunch of knock-ons, and the referee's like, no, knock on, play on. Eventually, Mark Talea knocked the ball on, very obviously, and there was a penalty given against the Blues for offside, playing this ball offside, and then the Reds took an opportunity to kick the ball right in front of the goalpost, and tick the scoreboard up to 34 points to 27. 75 minutes into the game, again, Hoskins to Tutu was just breaking down the defense, linking himself up with Caleb Clark, was breaking through down the sideline, stepping, and then eventually the Blues goes inside the Reds 22. Crash ball, as they always do. And then Eklund gets the short ball, goes in for the try. 34 points to 34. And it was looking like this could go into golden points once again. And it's just absolutely insane effort from the All Blacks, Hoskins to Tutu, and Caleb Clark. And finally, 81 minutes, the Reds look exhausted. Everybody looks exhausted, trying to finish the game, trying to just, not go to extra time, trying to finish the game before it was over. The ball got turned over. The Reds had the ball. There was a knock on. The Blues got the ball over, played on with the advantage, and the ball got spread out wide to Caleb Clark. And Vunivalu kind of went in on his defense. Clark ran down the sideline. There was players sweeping across to take him out. Inside ball to knock on his inside, wide open, under the post. Try time for the Blues. 34 points to 41. And that was that. Yeah, insane game. I think it was good signs for the Reds for, physically matching up with the Blues and, considering how many players that was not in action for the Reds, the big players, due to suspensions, due to their own stupidity. I thought Fraser McRae probably shouldn't be suspended, considering we saw a few high tackles now, very similar, didn't get red, but Fraser McRae is suspended, and Tate McDermott, being stupid, throwing an arm, getting suspended as well, was not really smart for the Reds team. It was probably the little bit of difference the Reds needed to really hold themselves out at the end of this match. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.